Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, September 5th, 2024. So, on this first September 5th of the month, did you do the crossword?
I did.
And was it an excellent first September 5th of the month crossword?
It was.
Good. What made it so excellent?
I actually finished it before the Tuesday
Before you
one.
started?
No. I finished it in less time than the one on Tuesday.
Oh, all right.
Just like I said, Wednesday I was able to finish before Tuesday. Well, Thursday I was able to finish before my Tuesday time. So
Nice.
So yeah, this one went pretty quickly for a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to figure out the gimmick, and then you got to answer all the clues,
Right.
But I was able to do that in record time here.
The gimmick / theme was ingenious. I thought.
It was
definitely novel.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before.
No, I don't think so either.
And we owe it all to Joe Dini and Joel Fagliano as editor, who presumably approved it and begged the people who make the crossword to make it so Joe Dini's crossword would be properly rendered.
I know. Yep, this is one that, you don't have to have any special electronics or paper, or it would work on any genre there.
I don't know. I predict that if we go to Wordplay, we'll find some people who complained that they couldn't see the drawing or something.
I don't know about that, but anyway, I could see it and I thought it was great.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, the theme was a little play on words in a very interesting way. There were, 4 themed clues, and you knew which ones they were right away because they looked different than all the other answers in the grid. The first one was 16 across. Tried getting on a Jumbotron, say, and the answer to that was to the camera. But the lines around the answer were all wavy. So it was waved to the camera. Mm-hmm. So the next one had lines around it that looked like little curlicues. And that was 27 across. Enjoyed some cozy reading. And the answer was up with a book. And so the little curlicues made it curled up with a book.
Curl up with a book, yes.
Curled up with the book. And then the next one was 43 across, where all of the horizontal lines on the squares were slanted downward. And the clue was attacked imaginary enemies in an idiom. And the answer was at windmills. So the total answer was tilted at windmills. And then finally, the last one, all of the squares had a number of tiny little lines going through them. Mm-hmm. And the answer, or the clue, was 57 across, made money dishonestly. And the answer was one's pockets. And the lines clued you in. It was lined one's pockets.
Yes.
So it was a very visual puzzle, which I appreciated. And so, yeah, that was the theme.
Yep.
Great.
Very clever.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I appreciate about X-Word Info is that when you hover over the squares, it pops up the answers, or it pops up the clues.
Oh.
It is not doing it today. And I wonder if it's because of the demands of the puzzle, because they had to throw in those special, like the curly squares and the wavy squares and so forth.
I have no idea.
But in any event, listeners, if you go to xwordinfo.com, you can see the grid. It is a work of art.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't think certainly I cannot recall in the last several years anything where they've changed the actual physical appearance of the lines that form the borders of the squares.
Right, yeah. They should give credit to the computer engineers and the whatever they're called.
Programmers? The programmers? The designers?
But then also the printers.
The typesetters?
Typesetters.
I don't think they set type anymore, but
That was the word I was thinking
yes.
of. You know, they had to create that so that they could print the paper as well as send it out electronically.
That is true. The New York Times does have a paper edition,
yes,
but I bet they don't have typesetters anymore. I can't imagine these people running around with like lead blocks.
No, and big presses that they press the paper into.
There's someone there with a crank that they keep cranking, and then pages come out one at a time.
Then they have to ink it up again and then push it down and all.
It means they have to start printing the newspaper 8 days before it actually ships. They have to do a lot of guessing as to what's going to happen.
No, I think they've probably progressed.
Yes.
Since the 1800s.
I don't think they use type, and the Gutenberg press is not their main printing press.
Not anymore. But anyway, it was a work of art, and I liked it.
Yep. Well done, Joe Dini. The rest of the grid was great. The clues were super. The answers were quite interesting.
A lot of fun ones.
10 across was Hollywood with the. And I kept thinking, it's going to be biz. But it took me a while before I finally wrote it down. And, of course, it was biz.
Yes, it was.
And that Z of biz led into 12 down. Equine hybrid with striped legs. ZEDONK.
Yes.
I obviously a combination of zebra and donkey.
Right.
What a great name.
ZEDONK.
I would like to take a ride on a ZEDONK.
I'd just like to see one.
I'm assuming they're real and they haven't just like grafted a zebra onto a donkey in some macabre experiment.
I certainly hope not.
We had 14 down, Looney Tunes nickname, 3 letters. I knew it had to be Taz.
Yep.
And that was actually where I had a bit of a problem. 19 across, spacecraft names since the 1960s, Soyuz.
Yes.
And because I was thinking, it's going to be Apollo. Well, Apollo doesn't fit because it's only 5 squares. And I spelled Soyuz as Soyez.
So did I.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, it wasn't just me.
Nope.
Listeners, you should know that Gene and I always solve the crossword completely independently, although apparently we're able to transmit thoughts to one another about how to misspell words. I mean, I hear an S sound, Soyez, and so I guess that's why that figures. But
Soyuz, I think.
Oh, yay. Anyway, so I had, but I filled in the grid, didn't have the answer, and I was looking at 17 down, Brink, and I had the CESP, and I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Right. I had
really?
The same thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good. I had a little trouble with 63 across, the crane lookalike. I always panic when birds are involved, and I thought it was an egret.
I put egret first.
Really?
Yeah.
You're stealing all my wrong answers. I don't know if that's really something to be proud of. But,
no, I don't
okay, all right.
Them.
What did you put for 13 across? Aptly named novelist Charles.
Reed.
Oh, see, I had Pages.
Oh, Charles Pages.
I thought. Well, actually, I was thinking about Page. I was going to spell it Paige.
Oh.
But then I thought, well, maybe it's Pages. So I invented Charles Pages. You've never read any of their work? Charles Pages is brilliant.
Oh, really?
Really, yeah. Really, really small print run. They used the Gutenberg press to do. That's all the books they needed.
I see.
And right next to that, this was fascinating. Like the Secretary of Commerce in the U.S. presidential line of succession, 10th.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I guess they're keeping track of all those things. So, all right. Do you know who the 20th is?
No. I mean, they go through, first it's the vice president, then it's like the Speaker of the House.
Right.
And then it's like the President Pro Tem of the Senate. And then they start in the cabinet, and I think it's like, the Attorney General or
they're number 7.
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State is number 4.
Okay, then is it the Attorney General?
Nope, Secretary of the Treasury.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised that Secretary of Defense is number 6. I figured they'd want them to be number 1.
Well, I thought they'd be pretty high up, but like Secretary of Commerce and health and human services and energy, those are probably not.
So here they are in
transportation. Those are probably not high up ones.
We really should reserve this for a Fun Fact Friday, but since we're on the topic, okay, so 1, Vice President, 2, Speaker of the House, 3, President Pro Tem, 4, Secretary of State, 5, Secretary of the Treasury, 6, Secretary of Defense, 7, Attorney General, 8, Secretary of the Interior, 9, Secretary of Agriculture, 10, Secretary of Commerce in today's crossword, 11, Secretary of Labor, 12, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development is 13, 14 is Secretary of Transportation, 15 is Secretary of Energy. Wait, they have some sort of a footnote by Secretary of Energy. Today's Secretary of Energy is, or the current Secretary of Energy, if you'll pardon the pun of current Secretary of Energy, is ineligible due to being a naturalized citizen. Oh, not natural born.
Was born.
When they say not natural born, does that mean if they're like born in the U.S. but born cesarean, they can't be? I don't think that's correct.
Natural born.
Natural born, that's what it says. So from the womb, untimely ripped.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds vaguely Shakespearean.
How do they know that?
Well, they know who the Secretary of Energy is, and they asked, are you a U.S.-born citizen?
Oh, yes. I realize that, but when you're talking about ripping from the womb and all that.
Because they have to go through the medical records. 15, Secretary of Education, 16, Secretary of Veteran Affairs, and again, someone who's ineligible, what would have been 17, Secretary of Homeland Security.
I'm surprised Homeland Security is the last one to get to be president.
Isn't that a very new position?
It's fairly new.
Right.
I would think it would be pretty important if, something happened to the president. I would think they'd be higher up. I don't know.
It's interesting. They list like Lloyd Austin as in no party and Merrick Garland as in no party. The rest are either Democratic or Republican.
Right.
So, well, anyway, 10th. The 10th was U.S. Secretary of Commerce. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. For 33 across, easy there, fella. Easy there, Fido. I started off with Whoa, W-O-A-H.
Oh.
And I wasn't sure what was going to follow that, but it turned out to be Down Boy.
Down Boy, yes.
Which I guess made more sense.
Yep.
And did you know 40 across, Spanish city on the Costa del Sol was Malaga?
No, I did not know that.
I don't even know where Costa del Sol is. So it's time to head to the Atlas.
I think so.
We'll have to work on that.
I liked 53 across, kid's toy that comes in a can. Play-Doh.
Yep.
Brought back memories.
I wonder if that could have been a Slinky. Did Slinkies come in a can?
I don't think so.
Could have been, I guess not Silly Putty, because Silly Putty came in an egg.
That's right.
That was the greatest packaging.
Tinker Toys came in a can. And Lincoln Logs.
I thought they like a long tube more.
Well,
right, okay.
Like a can.
Like a can, okay. I'll go with you on that. 32 across, the Aetna alternative was Humana.
That's right.
I could not think of it, but with the crosses I was able to see it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there is a company called that.
I also liked 28 down. Why do you even need me? What do you even need me for?
Yes.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
I've been in meetings like that. Why am I here?
I feel like that all the time. And I never get an answer. 64 across, corral. I started off, I'm not quite sure why, but I had an E as the middle letter, and I went for net, and then I went for pet, because you could like corral a pet. But that didn't make any sense because it was just the word corral. And then I went for pen, which was the correct answer.
That is right, yes.
And I did like 65 across. Peer group, eyes. That was good.
Right, yeah, that was good.
And of course, we have to end, as is tradition, with 66 across, famous 50s flop, Edsel.
That's
and
right.
Once again, the CEO of Ford is like, give it a rest, Fagliano. Give it a rest. So,
hey, it's got two E's, an S, and an L.
It doesn't matter.
The most
it's
popular letters.
Pick some other car. Pick some other fiasco, not ours. Quit picking on Edsel. I don't know if there's been any other car that has been so famously bad. You know?
And I don't even know what was bad about it. Was it ugly or did it not work?
Maybe it exploded when you tried to turn it. I don't know.
Wasn't there a Mustang model that exploded a lot?
No, it wasn't Mustang. It was from American Motors Corporation.
Oh.
And it was I think it started with the letter P. Not Pacer. Mm-hmm. There was Pinto.
Oh,
it was the Pinto.
That's right, the Pinto.
The Pinto would explode. Not once in the years that we have been doing this podcast have we seen the Pinto. No. Joel Fagliano, we hope you're listening. We hope you will take this to heart. And we're expecting we'll give you a month. By next month, we want to see a clue with exploding car in it. And we want the answer to be a Pinto.
Or it could just be a car flop, not an Edsel.
Ooh, even better. A non-Ford car flop. And tastefully arrayed underneath the crossword grid, an ad for a new Ford. That would make up for all the indignities if they gave a free ad. Don't think that.
I'm sure Ford needs a free ad.
I don't think Ford would say no to a free ad.
Probably not.
And I could write the copy for that ad. See, we make things other than Edsels. There we go. All right, you are welcome, CEO of Ford.
It's interesting to see how many diehard crossword players own Fords,
own Edsels,
or do they kind of shy away because of Edsel?
They don't, or maybe they go into the dealership and say, "I would like to buy an Edsel." What do you mean you don't sell them? They show up every week in the crossword. How can you not have them? I'm not leaving this establishment until I get my Edsel. I'd like it in red, please.
Oh, my.
All right. Well, I think we've probably done enough damage to the Ford brand, so let's wrap it up here.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yes.
Hope you're enjoying these podcasts as much as we are clearly enjoying making them. And we will be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword, as well as a Fun Fact Friday segment tomorrow.
Bye-bye.